Can you talk to me a bit again? What was your reaction when you found out?
Unreal. I couldn't really believe it. I didn't understand it. You know what I mean? We talked about, like I told you before, we talked about it. You know, I'm a devout Christian. I love Jesus, and and we talked about the religions and stuff like that. But he never, he always said he was. You know what I mean? He just said that this Son of Christ wasn't the only begotten Son. And I'm saying yes, he's the only begotten Son of God, and he said that he's just a prophet. We talk about stuff like that in different religions. You know what I mean? But he said, well, I'm on the peace side, Dad. This is where, we do nothing but peace, where we're peace and love and everything. But, something like this is just, it's unreal. I really don't know what to say and how to think.
Were there any warning signs? Because we saw his Facebook and we saw,
Well, see, that's what I mean. On that, he was like, that I'm just a Muslim. I'm a Muslim, and that's my religion, but, I just thought, okay, well, you're just, you just got to grow your beard all up and, stuff like that, but never nothing like this. I mean, I don't really know what to say.
When was the last time you spoke with him?
Well, last down here we helped fixing his car, you know what I mean? And I actually went to the football game, you know what I mean, with the Dallas Cowboy football game against the Raiders.
Oh, you guys went to the game?
Yeah, we went to the game, yeah, you know what I mean? And we were at the game, me and a nephew and a friend of his was at the game, and we was having a good time, and, it was Go Cowboys, and, America's team, and then, I'm at work and I hear about this, and, he's always got arrested for, and I didn't know, like, okay, well, what was he say? Did he say anything? And I didn't ever know what he said. He didn't, my ex was telling me about it. And then, they were like, hey, Dad, you know what I mean? Look at the news. And I was like, wow, are you serious? You know what I mean? Want to blow up people? You don't blow up people. You don't kill people, you know what I mean? You don't do that. You don't, he never raised like, he was always raised Christian and went to church and stuff, so.
As a dad, I mean, seeing that on the news, especially, and then how are you feeling?
It makes me just my heart hurts. You know what I mean? It really does. I mean, it hurts just for people in general. Just it kills me to know that, you know what I mean, that he would do something like that. I mean, that's not how he was raised. It's not, I don't know what this religion's done to his head or something. I don't know, brainwashed, or I don't know what it's done, but you know what I mean? This isn't the way he's supposed to be.
Have you talked to him since the arrest?
No, I haven't talked to him at all yet. I haven't, been able to. So they've had him, FBI's had him, so I ain't been able to talk to him.
What's next for you guys? I mean, do you have to go up there?
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know yet. I don't know what's going on. It's, I'd like to talk to him and see really where his head's at and really, what he was thinking
about. So you said the warning signs, but none of them were there, right?
No, nothing was there. That's the thing. No warning signs, no nothing. Just, that's my religion, Dad, and I used to laugh at him, you know what I mean, because he's growing a beard. I told him, you ain't gonna find no women like that, you know what I mean, looking like that, son, come on, and there was no warning signs, no nothing. Just.
Did he just get divorced?
Yeah, he just got divorced. You know what I mean? He was with this one girl, and she done him real wrong, and they you know what I mean? More or less, they took his kids. 'Cause, I mean, he was a good dad. He was always there. He went and seen them every time he could. You know what I mean? Even when they had him and they adopted him out. You know what I mean? Yeah, they adopted his kids out, and he had a job. He was working. He was doing, but that's how it is for dads. Dads really don't have really that much to say, and they adopted his kids out, and that crushed him. I mean, that crushed me. That crushed him. You know what I mean? And I guess I don't know if he got into this religion because, or I don't know. I don't know what really happened to him. After that, I know he was just hurting real bad, and he had a lot of pain, and I was there because it kind of happened. With us, his ex done kind of like the same thing, but she didn't really, she just took him away, and I couldn't see him and stuff like that. So he was able to come to me and ask me and talk to me about it. Hey, Dad, how's it feel? And, I know you've been through it and you can help me out with it. So I was able to help him out with that. But,
when did that whole divorce and custody deal happen? Was it recent?
It was just, just recently, you know what I mean, that
like a year ago?
That
Or?
no, yeah, I'd say about 4 or 5 months ago that he
Oh,
actually lost. Because it took about a year. He'd go and see him every month, or you know what I mean. Every time that he was able to go see him in there, they'd take him over there and he'd see him. I mean, he's seen his girl, his boy, and then they took his son, and then they was only letting him see his girl, and then bam, they take his girl and they adopted both of them out. So I mean that crushed him, that crushed us, it crushed the whole family.
when you say they adopted him out, so his ex-wife doesn't have him either?
No, she was in
So,
jail. See, she was in jail.
oh, okay.
Yeah, see, she was in jail, and he was the only one going and seeing him, and keeping in contact, trying to fighting for his kids, and they just never would. They just deemed him as not an unfit parent when he had a job. He was working. He had a job. He was doing everything a dad was supposed to do,
Yeah.
and they, they gave him to somebody else.
When did he convert, or when do you know that he converted to?
I don't know, about a year, maybe not even a year ago, maybe before that.
Okay. So like about a year and a half or so, like.
Yeah, if that,
the
you
last
know what I
year?
mean? Yeah, within the last year, I think. But he just kind of like, you know what I mean? He started growing his beard all up, and he started going to the Muslim church and stuff like that.
When about a.
Yeah, about 6, 7 months ago, he started growing a beard and wearing his little beanie hat and, doing his, because I always laugh at it because he'd be like, okay, it's prayer time. He'd have to go get his mat and, pray and do all that stuff. But, that was his religion, so
It seems like
I
it was around
accepted
the
it.
time with like the kids and all
Yeah,
that. Like
yeah,
all
it was,
that.
yeah, it was like, you know what I mean, like, kind of like during that, during that time that it kind of happened, you know what I mean, and I don't know, you know what I mean, it's,
Is there anything else that you wanted to say, or anything else like that you're.
I'm
put out there?
kind of lost right now. I just, you know what I mean, this just wasn't the way he was raised, and that's not what that's not what we're about. That's not what I'm about as a Christian, you know what I mean, I'm not, it's, you don't hurt people.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I forgot to ask you this in the beginning. What's your first and last name?
Gordon Jameson.
Gordon Gordon.
Gordon.
Don. Okay. Wow. When did he
Yeah.
move to Modesto?
Not, he was living here for a while, and I don't know. Remember, you know what I mean? About 7, 8 months ago, you know what I mean? He started living with his mom, and he's staying with his mom and stuff like that. Cause, you know what I mean? Because of what happened between me and his mom and everything, they were like, they didn't really get along too much. And then he forgave, and he started staying with her. They got back, and they got a relationship back together, and then he started living with them, and he was in Modesto. That's where they had the kids, so it was easier for him to stay down there.
I gotcha. So he recently moved there with
Yeah.
your ex-wife.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Was he bitter or something about the divorce, or about the separation or anything?
Other just his, you know what I mean, with his losing his kids when he fought so hard
Yeah.
to see them. You know what I mean? He fought for a year and a half. You know what I mean? Since it started, he fought. And his ex-wife is the one that got thrown in jail and was doing all the bad stuff. And
What was she in jail for? Do you know?
Well, she pulled a knife on him, and you know what I mean, and stuff like that. And then she done it to somebody else, and then she's in prison right now. So, yeah, so that's what happened with her.
And